Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back once again to the single player world. In this episode we are going to be combining this with this. I would like to make a villager trading ship. Why? I don't really know why a villager trading ship specifically, but I have been meaning to do some sort of villager trading setup for quite a while now, because the only access I really have to the villagers' trades is the ones in my village currently, which really is only one of each profession. They all have their individual house that they live in, and yeah, there's a couple of professions that I need more than one of, such as the cleric, so I can have access to lots of redstone and lapis lazuli mainly, as well as the stonecutter, so I can get all of these glorious blocks that I won't have to craft. Mainly the brick is what I'm excited about there. And then maybe I'll also get a couple more librarians because we only have 5 and there's definitely more than 5 enchanted books that I could do with having on command whenever I need it. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Villager trading ship. Hopefully it turns out to be as awesome as it sounds in my head. So this ship is going to be nowhere near the village. We're actually going to be building it closer to my starter home over here, and that's mainly because the ship that I have designed is pretty blimmin' massive, I'll tell you that. At least it's a lot larger than the ones we have over on the custom village. So yeah, there's this great big ocean around that kind of looks like it's missing something, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to have it right here on my doorstep, but there are some icebergs if we just fly on a little ways out. And the block palette I've gone with this ship kind of suits the iceberg biome quite well, so I'm thinking just somewhere around here would be a nice spot for it. Preferably if I could have it in render distance of my home so I can see it, but ever so slightly just off in the distance so we kind of get that shadowy effect, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna honestly jump straight into a time lapse with this one because I've got a lot of work to do for this episode and we may as well just get building right away. This is what I am talking about. Look how awesome that is. We're just outside of my starter base here, and as you can see, it looks super menacing. Definitely getting some Pirates of the Caribbean vibes from this. It's been a long time since I've seen any of those films, but I seem to remember that there is a certain scene where a ship is like slowly emerging through the fog and gradually reveals itself, and it's really quite frightening. At least my memory could be failing me here, but I seem to remember that. But yeah, we got a similar thing going on here, at least not quite as scary. It's not shredded to pieces and has actual pirates on board, but it is a bit of a creepy block palette, I guess. Very nether themed. We got the warped wood and then the blackstone with some basalt, and then the white for the flags? No, what are they called? Sails, that's it. I know my ship terminology, trust me. Not at all. I'm not very experienced in ships, building them, or generally knowing about them. But I did spend quite a long time on this trying to make it look good, and I think I've done an okay job. You guys will have to let me know. So you only saw me building the top part of this in the time-lapse, but I did actually go ahead and finish the underneath, which is like just as much work. So yeah, I did that too. It just wasn't going to make for a very nice time-lapse. So yeah, we're all done with the actual ship in its main structure. We are now gonna start working on just getting all of the villager related things in place. So we're gonna actually have a villager breeder up on the deck here, and then underneath it's currently filled with water, and I think there's mobs in here. Yep, okay, let's maybe not hang around too long with it. I'm kind of trapped, so I guess we will. Underneath here is where all of the villagers I'm trading with are gonna go, and yeah, gonna be kind of connected up with the breeder. So I'm not gonna bring any villagers over yet. I think I'm gonna save that for a live stream because that's tedious and I'd rather have you guys there to chat with while I do it. So yeah, I'm gonna clear all of this and basically just build up everything related to the actual villagers. Can I get out of here? Thank you very much. This ship deck isn't particularly looking much like a ship deck at the moment, and that's really because I've only built this villager breeder, which is actually a design from Avimance. I'm going to leave the video link in the description, and this is it literally in its bare bones form. I may cover it up, or I may just leave it open like this, I'm not entirely sure, but the gist of it is we're going to have 2 villagers on top of this fence right here, and then obviously they sleep in the beds, which makes it a valid village. It's incredibly tiny, super compact. I really do quite like the design of this, and this basically, if we fill this with food for the villagers to trade with, say if I just put my stone in here, flick this lever on, we got a hopper clock of just a pork chop going back and forth. It'll basically just fling the items to the villagers and they'll pick it up before they splurge all over the ship deck like the stone is doing here. So yeah, that's what we got on the surface here, and then I think for the next part we're actually going to have to go into replay mod because, yeah, it's too small for me to actually fit down, but the gist of it is the villagers will breed and then a baby villager will fall through this hole right here, which, as I said, is way too small for me to fit down. So here I am, role-playing as a villager in the villager breeder, when I give birth to my son, pop him out, and he falls through the fence because he's super tiny into this water stream here, which, as you can see, flows all the way down and is stopped by these signs here, where we are actually going to have a zombie in this little section here, just above the sea lanterns, which will then scare the baby villager, and he will either run down here or down this side. It really depends on which ones he's closest to. Basically, he's just scared of the zombie and he's trying to get away from it, and that is when he's actually going to fall in position. So if I just place a block here, you can see the chute that the baby villagers are going to run down on the 2 sides, and the gist of it is all of these trapdoors are actually going to be open to begin with, and because mobs and villagers or anything really in Minecraft see a trapdoor as a full block, they think they'll just be able to walk right over this, when in theory they can, and they'll fall down into position, as you can see next to their workstation, and once they're in place we can just do a quick jump and close the trapdoor, and then when the next villager comes along they will cross over the trapdoor and fall down in position next to it, and yeah, close that up, and so on and so forth until we have a stocked up villager trading hall, which really isn't much of a trading hall, to be honest. It's quite tiny down here. I kind of ran out of room. This is all I could possibly fit. It's very, very cramped at the moment. There is this section of the boat, but if I just, well, behind this block is water, basically. I won't do it because I got torches everywhere. But yeah, this is all I could possibly fill up, and it's about as small as it can possibly get, really. So yeah, we just have some quartz down here, which I think looks quite nice. Some white shulker boxes for extra storage if I need it. And then, of course, all of the villagers' workstations, which obviously will be interchangeable. So say I want something different aside from librarians, stonemasons, and clerics, I can just very easily not break the glass, thank you, break the lectern or whatever workstation is there and replace it with something else. And I can also cycle through the trades doing it that way, which is really nice. So yeah, that's the plan. Obviously, we're still lacking the zombie and the villagers, which we'll get in a live stream, but I did just add in a water stream going down with the magma, sorry, and then a soul sand elevator, which will plop me back up on the surface. And apparently, it's dark now, so I gotta go to bed, but once I do that, I think I'm gonna then work on making this look a bit better. Now, I'm honestly not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with this. I don't particularly have tons and tons of room, nor do I really know what goes on a ship. So basically, I'm gonna have a play around, have a think of what I could place up here, and see what we end up with. Do I or don't I keep the dragon head? I can't really tell if it looks silly or kind of cool or maybe a bit of both. I guess you guys can let me know what you think about it, and maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know. But yes, as you've seen, we have done a little bit of work on the ship deck, and I didn't want to go too overboard with this. Speaking of overboard, actually, we had a plank. I added this in here just because why not? So if a villager is misbehaving, they can walk the plank and plummet into the ocean. A very deep drop for them. Real steep, a whole 2 blocks. But no, let me show you around what I've done, because all of it may not be so obvious. So I did actually end up covering up the villager breeder, and I ever so slightly changed the hopper clock just to fit it in here, and we can turn it off and on still and everything, which is nice. And then this, any guesses on what this is meant to be? It's the ship wheel. It's really difficult to have something that is as like complicated as a ship wheel. In real life this is. That's kind of translated into Minecraft because you just have such limited space, and it was either this or like a trapdoor on a fence post or something. So yeah, we have a grindstone here. This is how we steer the ship, I guess, and then maybe this is something to do with navigation. I'm not entirely sure. I just wanted to put something on top of here because it looked a little bit plain. We have a bell, because why not? And then over here we have a big old map of the iceberg biome that is just behind the ship. We may actually be able to see some of the icebergs if I could just get on top. Yeah, there's a couple of them there. So I basically just mapped this entire area, so maybe they use this to navigate through and not crash into any of the icebergs whilst they're on the way to wherever they're off to. I don't really know where that is, but hey ho, let's continue on with the tour. So as far as lighting is concerned, I do have these soul lanterns up here on all of the masts, but soul lanterns are like the worst thing in the world for lighting. I don't think they even get you above light level 7. If you're like stood on one, they might be like 8 or 9, I think. But yeah, I really wish these would emit the same light level as like torches and normal lanterns do, because they're just kind of pointless as they are right now, and I don't really understand why they emit such little light. But there we go, it's not really the end of the world, because I've made up for the lack of light with some sea lanterns underneath some warp trap doors, or warp pressure plates I should say. So yeah, we shouldn't have any mobs spawning on here. I was very particular and made sure that we didn't have any light level 7. In the center here, we just have a big stack of barrels and crates, just to, you know, transport items, I guess, or something like that. And then over here we have maybe a meeting table, so the captain of the ship and possibly whoever they're coming to trade with potentially could sit down at this table and discuss what deal they're about to make. And then the final thing is this thing right here. This is my black stained glass texture, by the way, in case you're not sure. I'm thinking it kind of looks like a cage, because you know on some pirate ships they kind of have like a dungeon or like a prison to put somebody who is misbehaving, shall we say, underneath there. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking we should put something in this spare area under the deck. I'm not sure what though. I'm going to have a think and come back to that later on, most likely. So yeah, that really is the ship all done for the most part. All we have to do now is actually get the villagers and the zombies in place, and yeah, obviously figure out whatever we're putting underneath there. Now, as I said, the original plan was to do that in a live stream, but I've got some time on my hands here, and my live stream isn't until tomorrow, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move over the villagers now, and also see if I can trap a zombie. And by the way, I have put carpet on top of all of these wall blocks, as you can see, so we don't have to worry about mobs spawning on the sails. As you may be able to tell, I am recording this clip on Halloween, and all of the mobs have their jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins on their head, which is just such a cool thing. I love when they do that sort of thing, as well as on Christmas they have the presents. It really is kind of cool. But anyway, as you can see, whoopsie, missed my platform. I have a minecart rail set up here for our villager to get inside of, and then be brought on up and head inside of the breeder. It really should be foolproof. Well, hopefully it's foolproof and not foolproof. They need to fall into this hole, so fingers crossed they're not proof of doing that. But yeah, fingers crossed that should work pretty flawlessly. I don't really see how it could possibly go wrong, but then again, it is me, so anything is possible really. So what I have to do now is actually fly on over to my bed first of all, but then afterwards I'm going to go to my villager breeder and nab someone from there and basically boat them on over to the boat. Well, that was a little bit messy. I couldn't show you, unfortunately, as Replay Mod likes to not render villagers sometimes, so I was just pushing an invisible minecart around half the time, but I broke the minecart and he kind of spawned on the bed here, so I had to push him back in place, but it was all good. We got there in the end. Time to do it one more time. You guys enjoying yourself down there? You sure look like you do. You look very happy. And that is why I'm going to cover you up for the rest of your life. So there we go. There's our ship wheel back in place. I've cleaned up the mess around here and we are now ready, before we turn this on, to get ourselves a zombie in position in somewhere around here, I think it is. If I just kind of, yeah, okay, this is where we need to drop the zombie into. But I'm thinking, we're in the middle of an ocean. It's probably easier if I try and get a drown. So I'm thinking I just sort of break through here a little bit. We'll make a temporary walkway going across. Just something a bit like this. And yeah, we very simply just get a drown to follow us in. Hopefully he tries to pathfind in if I maybe just block off some of these so he can't really go anywhere. Yeah, fingers crossed this should be a bit simpler than the villagers. But that sounds like famous last words if you ask me. Aha, you sir will do nicely. I can take the hitboxes off now because I found one. Didn't take long at all. But if you could just follow me on up here. So I'm not going to give him the name tag yet. I'd rather get him in place first of all. Still following? Nope, got bored. Okay, let's just drag him on out this way a bit. Let him breach the ocean. Get that surface tension released. Okay, his little head is poking on through. Preferably want to do this before nighttime. Man, you really do not want... Oh, wait, what happens to drown when they're out of water? Do they die? Maybe I should find this out first of all. They, in fact, do not die. They do burn in sunlight, but that won't be a problem for us. Oh, I just killed my water source. Oh, yeah, stay there, stay there. Okay, come on now, come on now. Yep. There we go. Oh, we did it. Okay, now we can give him his name tag. And I can actually replace this at the back with... Not like that. That's not what we want to do. Just can I get that back? Thank you very much. Really don't want to hit you with the pick right now because you're quite low on health. Oh, Davy Jones is in place. Okay, now I have to just hope and pray that drowned actually scare villagers, because that's something else I didn't test, but I would be surprised if that wasn't the case. Now, I don't actually have that much food that I can give to villagers. On my person right now is basically all of the potatoes that I actually own. 9 stacks, which is just enough to fill up the dispenser back here. So the plan is, and the theory, is to fill this up with the villagers' food. I think they take potatoes, at least I hope so. Turn on this hopper clock, and then it should, if we can actually go around to the front and see it, drop the potatoes. I think it's doing it, but they're just picking it up instantly. Yeah, they are. You can like see like a shimmer of them every now and again. I'm pretty sure they're picking them up. Yeah, there you go. You can see they're tossing them between each other. Maybe I should actually have this being full glass blocks. That could prove to be a bit of an issue, but I can change that just off camera. So yeah, they're trading potatoes, and hopefully the breeding heart should appear anytime soon. I'm just gonna hang around for a little while and wait till that happens. Okay, yeah, this is taking far too long. I don't want to sit around anymore. I got replay mod running, as you can see, so I'm just gonna AFK here for a little bit, I think, and wait until these guys hopefully start popping out some babies, and fingers crossed they don't just chuck all of their potatoes out of the farm. Oh, do you see that? We're getting the hearts. I'm just changing out the glass panes for the cyan glass currently, because the potatoes kept getting stuck and I didn't know if it was a problem. I don't actually know if little Timmy just popped out or not, or if they're still going, but I'm just gonna place this glass. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just doing my thing, not even paying a single bit of attention to you. You've stopped. Okay, let's maybe just head down real quick and have a look. That's the wrong bubble column. We want to go in the magma one. So if it's worked, and there is... Okay, maybe they didn't pop out villager just yet. No, because he's nowhere to be found. Alright, back to waiting. Some time has passed since the last clip, and I'm happy to say, I think it's working now. I had to make some changes since the original design wasn't exactly working all too well, and I've only made a couple of tiny changes, but they seem to have helped quite a bit. So I originally just wasn't getting any villagers spawning, and then I read through the comments of the tutorial, and it said make sure the pillows of the bed are not directly under the trapdoors, so if this bed was to be facing the other way, and same with the other three, it wouldn't work, which is what I originally had. So I've moved them around, and I've also placed 4 trapdoors in each of the 4 corners here on the top level, because occasionally the villagers would spawn in the corner there when they woke up, which was very annoying because I had to push them back in place. So hopefully that resolves that issue. Haven't had time to test it just yet, but you can hear there are some baby villager noises. I always go down the wrong one. There we go. There are some baby villager noises, and that's because we have 1, 2, 3 baby villagers here in place with their closed up trapdoor. Davy Jones is doing his job, which is awesome. Just to show you Davy Jones in action and what the baby villagers actually do, here I am placing in the trapdoors in the corners. I figured I'd show you what happens when a baby actually spawns in and is birthed into the world. So here one is falling down right now, and he goes down nearing towards Davy Jones looking very scared. Look at his little terrified face, but then he falls in place, realizes Davy Jones is there, and very quickly runs over this trapdoor and into position, as you can see, ready to be trapped there for the rest of his life. So yeah, awesome. Very happy that this is, fingers crossed, all working now. So the plan now is first of all to do lots of AFKing and wait until basically all of these little containers fill up with villagers and they grow up and get to their workstations, and then it's gonna be live stream time for me. So in advance, I guess, thank you to everybody who turned up to that one. I hope it was a good live stream. But the plan for it, obviously, instead of getting our drowned up there and our villagers, is instead just to cycle through all of these trades and basically, is that another baby I just heard fall down? Not sure. But basically cycle through all of these trades and can just see if we can get any good ones. Mainly going to be doing some stuff with the librarians, of course, but I would like to max out all of my stonemasons and my clerics as well. So I will see you after the live stream. I've just wrapped up the stream now, so thank you everybody for coming along to that one. I do really appreciate it as always, and if you want to catch the streams in the future, my Twitch link is down in the description. It's just Marlow_, and I also have a second channel where the uploads of the replays go, so if you don't have Twitch or can't watch live for some reason, you can go check that out as well. But yeah, we did some good work on the stream. We managed to get pretty much all of the villagers sorted down here. We do have a bit of a problem in some villagers kept being bred and they've grown up in this little area, so I'm gonna have to sort something out there. Probably we'll just do that in between episodes, but for right now most of the babies have just been growing up inside of the block and then suffocating, as you can see, which is kind of morbid, but if it works, it works. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Need to sort that out. But yeah, we managed to get all of our clerics up to master, all of our masons up to master. And then we've got all of the librarians along here, which we have a Smite 5 book, we have a Feather Falling 4 book, a Depth Strider 3, and then this one is a Looting 3, Depth Strider, Sweeping Edge 2, sorry, so if we get 2 of them, it'll be Sweeping Edge 3, and this one I'm still hoping to get Sharpness 5. Maybe we can do it on camera here, that would be awesome. Nope, we got loyalty. So yeah, that's probably something else I'll do in between episodes. But I think super duper quick, what we're going to do now is see if we can get something to go inside of this room here, which, as you guys suggested on the stream, is actually going to be a pillager. I just had a little bit of a scare. My pillager had disappeared for some reason, but then I just reloaded the world and all was good. So yeah, we can see our pillager. Actually, you can. But he's in there, and I've ever so slightly decorated his cell. I haven't really done too much because, well, this is meant to be a jail cell after all. So as you can see here, we have a toilet, which I'm now inside of. Whoopsie. We have Pilly, the pillager prisoner. That is quite the tongueful to say. But yeah, he's up here, crossbowless. He's actually super duper friendly. I kind of like this guy, but obviously the villagers don't so much. And I'm just thinking it doesn't make much sense because the villagers are kind of trapped inside of their chambers and everything. Maybe this is just like a torture boat or just a jail boat of some kind. I don't know. I like Pilly though. I think he's cool. And honestly, he's got a pretty good home here. He's got his toilet, he's got his bed, he's got his lighting. What more could he really need? So that, everybody, is unfortunately where we're going to have to wrap up for today's episode. It's been a really fun one to make, actually. Something a little bit different to what I would usually do, and it's safe to say I've enjoyed myself, so I hope you guys have also enjoyed watching. Thank you ever so much for doing that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.